Alright, so today, this engine is coming apart. We got to break it down to the pistons pretty much. I'm not going to take the pistons and rods out today, but we're going to get the head off. Guarantee you I blew a head gasket. Get our timing setup off. We're going to get my intake or my exhaust manifold off first. Coil pack, alternator. I don't think I'm going to be able to get my dampener off, but I will try. I don't have the specific puller for the ATI. But basically, we're going to get this pretty much down to the rods and pistons so we can see what we're working with. And then next engine update video will be putting the new rods and pistons in. I have not decided if I wanted to get it built yet by an engine builder or if I'm going to do it myself, but either way it will get done. So we're going to start off by taking off our ignition coil with a 10 mil. I think they're 10 mil. I'm really curious if I blew the head gasket. I mean, I was drinking coolant, so good possibility. Alright, so I wanted to show you guys here. There's a bolt right there. It looks like a 14 or a 15 maybe, that the alternator wire is attached to. So we got to take that off. And here's just a look at kind of what we're dealing with. So oil pressure sensor, our return line for our oil for the turbo. Coolant line there comes from the block, all AN fittings. We're going to work on taking off our alternator right now, and along with the wire. And then one other update that I'm going to mention, that oil pressure sensor is actually just going to get plugged off this year. I will let you guys know once I figure out. It is a 15 mil. I'm probably not going to put that back in either. Just for the fun of it, I put it back in. Alright, so now our alternator has to come out. I'm just going to take out our 15 mil. Yeah, 15 mil long screw that holds it to the bottom bracket. I don't run the top bracket on here. That is not the bolt that I wanted. Alright, let's try that again. It's going to be this bottom one here. Forgot about that retainer. Told you the last time I had this off. So now, come on. There you are. Alternator is off. So let's go ahead, put this all back together with the retainer. Just going to thread it on a little bit. Just so it's out of our way, we're also going to take off my alternator bracket back here. If we don't put it on. Alright, so now we're going to take off our exhaust manifold. I know I'm a little dark here, but just bear with me. So I'm just going to disconnect my coolant line, oil line down here also, and then oil feed. I'm going to leave the turbo attached to the manifold, and we're going to take out these 12 millimeter or 13 millimeter, whatever they are, nuts, and then I'm just going to take off the whole assembly. So let's see what size bolts these are. They are not 15 for sure, so let's try 12. They are 13s. So exhaust studs or nuts are 13 mil. So remember when I was telling you guys that it was such a pain to put in my car? Well, this is why, because you're bending over the whole engine bay and you got to wrench these, just wrench, not even like socket these on, and they're pretty bad. Especially when they're tight like that. So the way that I'm going to put this in my car this time around is I'm going to end up putting the manifold on. But pretty much I'm going to have it fully accessoried out when I go to put it in the car this time, so I'm not struggling to get this manifold on. And I have the room this time too. Okay, all but one nut is off. We are going to grab a wrench. You all going to kill me because I am using a wrench on an AN fitting, but I think, nope, okay. Oh yeah, and that's also another thing. I wasn't able to get this AN fitting tightened because it was right against my firewall for the coolant. So this time around, I'm going to be able to make it tight enough where I don't have to worry about it leaking. Just because you can see what I'm doing now, I'm going to just use a regular ratchet to take off the oil feed on top. I'm going to just slide that back in. 2 crush washers, one on the top, one on the bottom. Come on now. Still won't be able to see what I'm doing, but I'm using an AN wrench this time to unscrew my dash 10 down here. Highly recommend the adjustable wrench. If you're like me and you don't have a lot of money to spend on all those aluminum wrenches, that's what they are. They're aluminum wrenches because they're aluminum fittings. So as soon as we can get this completely unscrewed for my second part of my drain, I can go ahead and take that complete manifold off. Okay. Okay. We do have some oil in our charge pipe. I don't know if I'm going to be concerned about that right now. Pull our gasket off. Now for some reason, ooh, we do have quite a bit of oil spitting out here. So you can actually see oil residue on here, and that is telling us that we were in fact sending oil through our cylinders. I don't know why, but we're going to find out. And I reused that gasket. I'm probably going to replace it this time, but that's from my original engine in the car. So probably time to replace that. Been off so many times now. I still have to drain coolant out of here, but let's go ahead and get my top off here. Just why I have this all off, you can kind of see the lines. So this comes above the turbo like that. This is my coolant, and then that's the second part of the drain. So you can see where it comes in just 90s there and comes up to the turbo portion. So that's just a little bit of insight back here. Alright, so I have aftermarket bolts up here. They're all hex head. And when these come out, they do have to get rebuilt. And then they get put back. So I can explain it later, but basically there's a little O-ring that holds in the spacer on top, so that's what we got to put back. But just for now, I'm just going to take them all out. So question comes up all the time about what cameras YouTubers are using. So my top camera is a G7 Panasonic. That is an M50. I'm shooting with my Olympus OM1 Mark III for my handheld. And then that's a GX85 for my back camera over there. Good. This engine hasn't been started up in quite a bit, so it should be pretty good. What in the world? Alright, I gotta show you guys this. No! I need that spacer. Okay, so these were the little spacers I was talking about with the O-rings. So clean lobe, clean lobe, clean lobe, clean lobe, you know, all these are pretty clean. And then we get to a select few, so like the end of our line, I think it splits right here. This would be end of line, but the first in line also has quite a bit of rust and wear on it. I don't know why. Not a big deal if we have to pick up new cams, but it's very odd and it's concerning. So I'm very curious to see what our cylinder walls are looking like if we had an oil problem. We always made good oil pressure, so that's one thing to side note. Alright, so we're looking at our lobe 1 there. And for some reason, it doesn't look great. I don't know why. But then you look at the rest, and they're fine. Until you come to our end of the line over here. And then we got a little bit of wear on here, a little bit of wear there, a little bit of wear there. But then you look at the rest, nice, clean, 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 clean. So, I don't know what is wrong with that, but the top of the loop feels fine. And it kind of looks like it got hot too. Okay, so got our tensioner loose up here. Go ahead. Okay, whatever. Just as long as there's no tension, I'm gonna go ahead and take our tool. Where is that tool at? So this is my tool for taking off cam gears. So we can go ahead, get an 18 on here, and rotate so we can take our cam gears off. Okay. Oops. That just made that. Okay, there we go. Just gonna let that flop down for now so I can rotate these independently. Do it. Okay. So now I might be a little bit harsh with this, but it's how I figured the best is to get this off. Here, why not? Let's do a chrome on impact. These MPX gears are really nice. And well worth the investment for being able to fine tune your gears or your cams. So that goes up there somehow. These are 8 mils, I believe, to take off that guard. I still run my guard. Some choose not to run the guard, but they are, yeah, 8 mils. So now we have to take off, I believe these are 8s and 10s. We gotta take all that off. So let me grab, that's an 8. Here's a 10. So I'm just going to crack all these loose. I think this gets torqued down to like 155 inch-pounds. I'm not quite sure. Don't recall me on that, but I usually just do by feel. So it's usually just snug. You gotta be careful with this because you can warp the cam if you don't release tension slowly. There is a lot of pressure on these right now. Wow. Come on. A little bit of wear, nothing crazy. I'm just, that looks really ugly. Why does that look so bad? Holy cow. So I'm definitely gonna have to get this polished. So I think it's just rust. I think it's just because it's been sitting with that moisture in the engine. So I don't mind getting these polished, so that's just another thing that needs to get done. But other than that, they don't look bad. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely just because there is whatchamacallit in the engine bay, or in the engine, moisture. Take our lash adjusters off. I don't know what that was in there. Okay. So just because, for the heck of it, I'm going to take my hydraulic. I think these are lash adjusters. Those are the rollers. Okay, so lash adjusters. These are the DCR ones. Not sure if they're any different, but yeah, that's all I gotta say there. I do notice that they are better in the higher RPM range, so maybe. Probably new head studs this year. I think they were worn out because I do have sealing problems with my... We are going to break out Big Bertha, and Big Bertha is not in there. Oh, I know what Big Bertha is. I don't know, her name changes every day. Big Bertha, Betty, Betsy. Oh my God. Okay. So the reason why these are really tight, I think they get torqued down to like 85 foot-pounds or something like that, is because I was still leaking oil out the side of my block here from the head mounting to the engine block. And so they're like, yeah, torque down another 10. So I think I torqued them down to 95. Still, you know, oil coming out the side. So I just basically got on here and I did another quarter. Nah, I think I did like half a quarter turn, so an eighth of a turn or something like that, just with the breaker bar. So they were really tight because of that. We got a box. So I will put it on that box. So it's this hole right here that I have the problem with it coming out the block. This is also a bad hole. Right now, I'm just looking to see if I can spot a water jacket problem here. So honestly, we are pretty good. We look good. So there's nothing blown here. Nothing blown here. Nothing blown there. Not there, not there. Head gasket looks to be intact. Let's look on the other side. Yep. Now I would never reuse this head gasket, but it is intact. So did not blow a head gasket. You can see how rich we run though. Actually, it's because I was burning oil too. So good news is, even though we were running about 10 pounds of boost, I think I might have spiked up to 12 one time. No detonation, so 20 degrees of spark on a, what is this engine? 10 to 1 ratio, compression ratio, no detonation on 93. So that's good to know. Yo, what are we doing here? Come on now, I got power tools for this. It's too small. It's the right size. A block just looks so nice with studs. That, like, just, whew, I love the stud look. So I will say, I will definitely get my piston skirts coated, because as I can see in these walls, you can see the piston. So it's probably going to be better with higher quality parts. So I'm buying Crowler rods for this, and then JE pistons, I want to say. But what's happening, I see wear marks on either side of the connecting rod, so it spins like this. And so when the piston, it's getting this effect where it wants to move back and forth as it's kind of wiggling up the cylinder wall, and can see that wear in here too. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to address that. I don't know if it's gonna be coating or if it's just the piston slap play in factory rods. There is a lot of oil in these, jeez. I'm definitely gonna look at different head gaskets. I'm not really happy with that. Not surprised about this block. Really not too much rust on it. I might get it decked, I'm not sure yet. Also got to remember that this isn't like, you know, just your engine build of once every like what, 200,000. This is an engine build that gets done every like 10,000. So I don't want to shave off too much, especially with the head. That's really expensive. So I just want to get it checked, make sure it didn't warp on me. We were hitting high temperatures, so that was my fault, but it's what I get for not running a temp gauge and only going by when I start like blowing smoke out. Yep, it's a 13. Watch this go all over the place. Like I can't wait until it just doesn't. So we're draining that now. Good. I do not have a magnetic drain plug. For some reason, every single one I ordered does not fit this thread. So I probably should measure that and buy a magnetic drain plug. Ah, that's why I'm leaking a whole bunch of oil out of that. My bulkhead fitting loosened up on me somehow. Why? I'm just getting oil everywhere. Why? Stop! No! Okay, so I won't be able to do anything with this, but that explains why I was leaking oil everywhere. We're just going to remove my oil filter here. You can probably see what I'm doing on that camera, but just removing my oil filter. We're going to drain it real quick. Let's work on the front here. So we can pull our tensioner off. There's our tensioner. She's off. We can work on getting this balancer off. You can see. Well, second bolt that I dropped down there. Loctite glue on them. And we need to put our, whatever size this is, 38s back on. Put our T40 back. I was going to organize these, but I'm pretty good about where the bolts go now that I'm going to take my chances. And then you're going to see me run a balancer with like 3 bolts in it and call it good. So you guys are probably hating me right now because okay. I did something that I said that I would never do with this car, and that was to take it out in the snow when there was salt on the ground. So that's probably why this is so stuck on there. Where is my shaking mallet? So I have a sand mallet. Stay tuned for my transmission video too. I'm going to show you guys all the mods. Not all of them. I got to keep some secrets, but I'm going to show you guys some of the mods that I did that makes that transmission so special. So we make about 180 line pressure in there, and slant. Yeah, it's nice when you don't burn third gear clutches. So we got to get that fixed. I want to say it's because of my wave rings in there. So we're gonna get rid of them this time around. Also going to stack Raybestos. So I had Kevlar clutches in there, which didn't seem to be, I don't know, they didn't seem to hold that much power. So I got Raybestos Stage 1 coming for that. So I found my shaking mallet. a reason why they probably make a tool for this. Yeah, I know, don't worry. It's also a 200-hour tool, which you're probably like, this right here. But that's a fun tool. I get to use that on everything. I don't get to use a balance. I do have 2 gear pullers, but I don't know if it's going to work for this. You guys are probably like dying. So that came off. That's cool. Dampener looks good, so it doesn't have to be rebuilt. You can rebuild these. That needs to come off. Okay. I'm gonna have to figure out how to put that dampener back together, but we got that off. Now the thing about this dampener is I can't, oh yeah I can. What am I talking about? We're getting off. We're not paying for that tool now. As soon as I find my 19 mil. Here it is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw this 19 mil on a few threads. We're gonna grab my tool. Nobody saw me just open this upside down, so we're good. Back to this. Alright, so the good news about this is we can find threads to thread this one too. So once again, we're going to use that. We're going to slide our on. We ain't paying that $200. Come on. Come on. We'll have to slide one of those in. Is this going to be long enough? Yep. That's how we do it. I'm happy. I'm going to put all this back together later, so I know it's going to sit here for 2 weeks. Okay. The hub. That's cleaned up for now. Alright, so happy that I got that out. Like, you have no idea. So I'm glad that that works, because holy cow, I thought I was going to have to buy that $200 tool. So we got more 8 mils that need to come out. Okay. So these are 10 mils. I also have studs down here. I'm a big stud guy. We were going to actually get more studs internally. That's coming up too. That's another project. 10 mil. Excuse me, 10 mil, you around here? 10 mil, yoo-hoo. Where are you at? So realistically, all that's gonna stay there for like days. I'm the worst. Why would I ever put that one back? But I don't put that. I'm gonna get that one with the that is down there. Did I say I was going to take this alternator? Oh no, that's the AC bracket. Bruh. Yeah, you can see I'm not even like, bro, I don't understand. Holy cow. I'm gonna put this right on top of my head. Let's go ahead, let's pull this AC bracket off. Let's see what size that is. Probably 18s. Nope. 16s? Okay. Yeah, this motor's getting a Loctite blue everywhere because one of my AC mounts was loose. Wow, these are really not tight. They were way tighter when I put them on. Yeah, this is a heavy mount too. So if I can get rid of this and run the what is that, like 1/2 inch aluminum, that would be great. So as we're taking apart this engine, you can see that, you know, I spent the money where I thought the money was needed. So I had oil problems with my last motor, and that's what killed it. Lost oil pressure, which was really great. So I upgraded to this beefed up whatever. Here, I'll show you the original. This is what they thought was a satisfying oil pickup tube. Little screen. I mean, it is full under, but little screen, you know, this and that. And I also put a windage plate in to hopefully keep the oil from wicking. I also am able to run 7 quarts of oil in here now. So that beefed up. So, and I got rid of the balance shaft, so that brought back some engine power, and I was worried about that chain breaking, so that's another reason why I got rid of that. As we take this off, you're going to see that I spent the money on bed plate studs. So we could, when you remove the balance shaft, or balance shaft studs or whatever, it's where the bolt holes go when you take that off. Anyway, I bought the stud kit for that. Some people might not run that, but then you can get something like that. That word exists, I think. So anyway, you can get some deform happening in your bed plate here. So I spent the money on those studs. So let's go ahead. Enough talking there. Even though I don't know what I'm doing yet, I might buy straps, crank straps. I'm not sure if I'm going to need them. But I am going to be revving high, so there's going to be a lot of rotating mass, weight. So I plan on revving this out to 8,800. Piston velocity is going to be 28 meters a second, which is quite a bit higher of where your safeguard wants to be. And your safeguard for an A engine is probably 24 meters a second. So I'm going to be spinning a little bit over that. So most of the time I plan on staying around 2400, which is I think like 7200 RPMs or 7400. I don't know, but basically you calculate it by taking your stroke, your diameter, and your something else. I'm not quite sure, but I calculated that a little bit ago. Don't ask me questions about that. Okay, I'm looking for something again. This is an engine disassemble video, not an engine science video. Sorry about that. No, there is some, actual RNA that goes behind this, R&D, RNA, something like that. Yeah, that's my foot that is going on. They are really tight. I don't remember making them this tight. Wait. That is not good. I'm not happy with that. That's my main bearings right there. So these were like tight and they were loose. I'm not happy about that. But yeah, there is quite a bit of research that goes into this motor. It's not just slapped together and hope it works now. There is quite a bit of research, especially with the transmission also. Oh, hold on, wait a second. Okay. Throw that back in there. You know what? I said that I wasn't going to, I need to find the bolt for this so I can crank it over. But I know I wasn't going to take these rods and pistons out, but you know what? Why not? Probably can't hear me because my shotgun mic's over there, but we got other cameras that we can use. So one thing that I don't have that I need for installing rods is a rod stretch gauge or a rod bolt stretch gauge, and I don't have one of them. No! 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 Ah! I don't know if you see what's going on over here, but we just made a huge mess. Wow, this is really heavy. Oh, heavier than I was expecting. So anyway, rod stretch gauge or rod bolt stretch gauge I do not have. So when you install these, your torque is measuring the stretch in the bolt. I am picking up ARP 3/8 inch bolts for them, along with the Crowler piston, rods. But nope, they're 11s. I remember that now. You want to know where my 11 mil is? So, or no, my 9 mil? I find that 11 in a second. So this adapter gets threaded onto the other part of the compression tester. And what happened is I took it out, and I never had this issue before where it comes off this little adapter for the spark plug hole. And what happened is I put the spark plug in it and cranked it down and it got stuck in here. So I had to jam this socket on here, 9mm, jam it on there and try and get it out. And got it out. Now it's stuck to my 9mm. So let's grab an 11mm and let's go to town here. All right, listen, we mean business. It's business time. So these are usually about 20 foot-pounds. Is what the torque is on these. That's what, they basically are, but you measure rod stretch. Or bolt stretch, you know what I was trying to say. So cylinder 1 and 2, 1 and 4. They are pristine. They are pristine, bro. I gotta show you guys these. Pristine. So, okay, I probably should get into like, This motor oil gets changed every 500 miles if it was in like racing conditions, and every 1,000 miles if it was just basically driven. And for breaking in the motor, it got changed at 50 miles. It got changed at 100 miles. It got changed at another 100 miles, another 100 miles. I did that up until I got about 500 miles, and then I changed it at 500 miles after that at 1,000 miles. And then I switched over to full synthetic after that. Before that, it was conventional. So, really nice to see that those bearings are pristine. But you're also talking about a motor with what, like 3,000 to 5,000 on it. I'm not quite sure how much this has. I'm being very careful with this, not touching my cylinder wall. Just be really careful when you're doing this. I hope you saw that. We got a little bit of wear on this bearing, but nothing bad. No, still original like square marks in there. Let's reset for a second. Let me clean up this mess that I have. But we did in fact get the piston out. See a score mark there, some score marks here, but overall, it's not bad. Not bad at all. All these rings are good. So, one piston and a mess. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing with the engine block yet. I think I'm still cut off. I don't care anymore. This is the last little bit of what we're trying to do here. So 2 pistons are out. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing with the block yet. So it might get clean, it might not. It might get completely reassembled, disassembled. I don't know. I'm not messing with the rotating assembly only because I'm not good with it. Or I may mess with it, I don't know. So, let's get these bolts out. Two score marks, very faint. Just figured I'd point that out there. But there is 2 score marks on that. We're going to push these down. Y'all probably are dying right now watching me do that. So anyway, let me just defend myself real quick. Where I'm hitting like right in this area. I'm like right against the rod, right in that area. These are like really goofy looking. Why are they like white? Unless they had ceramic coating. Like, that's weird. Nah, there's no way that's ceramic coating. Like, my head's on top of it, but I actually do have an old piston from my other engine. That's why they look weird to me. Try this one. I don't know if you saw that on that, but that just happened. Let's get this one out. So I am doing new compression rings and everything. I don't know if you can see this, but just a little bit of wear on either side. But that's actually not bad. That's from the piston when it goes up and down. It kind of has a side-to-side movement with it. So here's your close-up shot of the almost bare block. Like I was saying, the cylinder walls aren't looking too bad. But I'm going to have everything go to the machine shop, honestly. I think that's going to be my best bet. I take out all my plugs and everything, and I send it. I got to find one first. Nobody's out there with an open schedule or whatever. Everybody's booked for the winter, so it might take a little bit longer to get out there, but yeah. If I want it done, you know, where I know something's not going to break on me, I think that's going to be my best bet, so I get that done. Let's take a look, show you guys the under. So, like I said, these bearings look, I mean, you know what I'm saying. Journals, no brazing or anything on there, or whatever you want to call it. No marks, okay? So, I think that's where we're going to leave it off here for the engine. I end up taking off the rest later. But I'm pretty much done. I mean, I've been working on it for almost 4 hours now, so not really, but like stop and go with the cameras and whatnot. So I'm done there. And I'll let you guys in on the next update when I... oh, you know what? No, we got the transmission for the next update. So we take a look at the transmission, why this is on hold for now. And I got to clean up this mess. So I'm going to let you guys go off here.